What's going on, guys? We got new bird permit support. We've got a brand new archetype which seems to be related around Snake Eyes, and some new treasure archetypes. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So starting right off, let's go kick it off with the brand new Snake Eyes archetype. And by the way, all these are coming out in Age of Overlord. So starting right off with Snake Eye Exil. He's a brand new level 1 Pyro fire effect monster, and it's got 800 attack, 1000 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is if it's normal or special, you get to add one level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand. That actually can be a pretty good effect. I'm not sure what could be a level fire 1 monster off the top of my head, but I do want to go ahead and check that out. That's the whole point of any of these discussion videos. So obviously we want a monster, we want it to be an effect, and we want it to be level 1. What are the targets with that? Oh, we need to actually select fire though first. Alright, let's go to attribute and select fire. And what are the targets off the top of my head? So I guess any of some of the Infernables. We also have Decatron. We have Jet Synchron. Okay, so maybe some Synchro potential. Volcanic stuff. Okay, we got Drac, Aiello, Volcanic Shell. Okay. And we got the Red Dustin. Okay, I'm not sure what other archetype, and I guess, oh, this is also Link 1. Okay, so as far as that effect goes, those are some of the targets off the top of my head, but if you guys got any more, let me know down below. Second part is you can send this card and one other face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon a Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck. Wow. Being able to summon anything from the entire archetype's deck, that seems pretty busted, but the card's got to be good in the rest of the archetype to actually make this worth it. Next up, though, we have Snake Eye Orc, which is a level 1 Pyro fire effect monster, so I guess it's probably a part of the archetype. They're all level 1s. So 900 attack, 200 defense points. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is if this card is normal or special, you get to target one of your level 1 fire monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Second part is you can send this card and one other face-up card you control to the graveyard to summon one Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck, except for Snake Eye Oak. Okay, so they can just start going into other things. Now, what's interesting, it says one other face-up card you control. There could be cards where if this card is sent from, like, let's say the field to the graveyard, it gets some sort of bonus, depending on the condition. Next up, though, we have Snake Eye White Birch. So it's a level 1 fire pyro effect, 0 attack, 21 defense. It says you can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So if you control a fire monster, you can just special summon this card from your hand. Second part is during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can send this card and one other face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon one Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck, except Snake Eye White Birch. Okay. So next up, this is maybe their boss monster here. So this is Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. It's kind of like a plan like Blue Eyes White Dragon. I like it. Okay. So it's a level 8 fire dragon effect monster. So it's their boss monster more than likely. 3000 attack, 25 defense points, and it says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is you get to target one monster in the graveyard or face up on the field, place it in face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. So it makes something instantly a crystal beast, which is actually pretty decent. I wish that was a quick effect though. But the second part is during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can target one monster card on the field, treat it as a continuous spell, and special summon it to your field. Oh, okay, so that's during your opponent's turn. So that basically lets you get rid of the card, and then you have almost like a snatch steal in a sense, where you get to just take their card. That's a pretty dang good effect. Now, if the monster had a negation effect, maybe if you've already exhausted the effect, like it's a once per turn you can negate, then you could actually have more negations with that. But being able to bring back something is pretty dang powerful, considering the whole archetype, you just get to special summon this card from your deck, right? It's just like any of the cards. Yeah, you just summon any Snake Eye monster, and this is a Snake Eye monster, so that seems pretty powerful. Again, I wish the first part was a quick effect, though. Anyways, next up, the third effect is if this card is sent from the hand or field of the graveyard, you're supposed to summon 2 level 1 fire monsters from a graveyard. So once this card goes away, you get to bring back those other monsters. So this is definitely their boss monster for the archetype. I think it's got some potential. It needs more negations. If this card had like an Omni negate, then we would be looking at something really solid. But it's still like not too bad, at least in the first introduction, right? But we're not done yet with this archetype. So let's check out their support. So we have first off the Shrine of the Serpentine Sight Snake Eye, which is a field spell card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. So the first part is, when this card resolves, you get to place one Snake Eye monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in its owner's spell trap zone as a continuous spell. Second part is level 1 fire monsters you control gain 1100 attack. Now I gotta double check on their stats. Were they actually like decent? I guess that's like makes it like a 1900, a 2000. It's like mediocre, because remember it's only level 1 monsters, right? But that's all of them, so it's not just for this archetype. Next up though, wait, actually if you did like Dustins, like Dustin was one of the targets, right? You just get 5 Dustins. You could probably do some OTKs with it, honestly. Would be pretty funny. Anyways, next up, once per turn, if your opponent normals or special summons a monster, you can target 1 monster card on the field, treat it as a continuous spell, and special summon it to your field. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So you could resummon like your own stuff because you place your own. So this is like almost like a bootleg Crystal Beast, right? Like kind of the archetype, but it converts your opponent's monsters into it as well. Next up though, we have the original Tainted Treasure Snake Eye, which is a normal spell card that says you can only activate one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. First part says, send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon 1 level 1 fire monster from your hand or deck. Wow, that's a pretty solid effect. Second part is you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Snake Eye or Diabell Star monster in your graveyard, add 1 level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand, then place the targeted monster on the bottom of the deck. I mean, that's okay. Next up, they have a trap card called the Glaring Ruler Snake Eyes. It's a normal trap that says you can only activate 1 card of this card's name per turn. First part says if the total levels of all Snake Eyes monsters you control equal 2 or more, activate 1 of these effects. Target 1 monster opponent controls target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard or face-up field, place it in face up in its spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. So this one automatically just puts it there. Then the next part is to target 1 monster card in the field, treat it as a continuous spell, and special summon it to your field. Okay, so this is like, it definitely could counter Crystal Beast, which is kind of funny, but nonetheless, I don't know if I would say it's an automatic S tier deck, but it definitely has, it's got its own kind of mechanic. It's kind of heavily inspired by Crystal Beast. But what do you guys think of the Snake Eyes? Next up though, we have another brand new archetype. We're getting 2 reveals over here. So this is the Diabell Star, the Dark Witch, so I guess it goes maybe well with the Snake Eyes here, because I mentioned it in one of the cards. So this is a level 7 Dark Spellcaster effect monster. It's 2500 attack and 2000 defense points, and it says you can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. The second part is if this card is normal or special summon, you get to set 1 Tainted Treasure spell / trap directly from your deck. Third effect is if this card is sent from the hand or field of the graveyard to the graveyard during your opponent's turn, you get to send 1 card from your hand or field of the graveyard if you do special summon this card. So the third effect is a once per turn, so you can't just keep on bringing it back again and again by just dumping cards. But nonetheless, okay card. I don't know if this is maybe their boss monster, but let's see what the rest of the support. So this is the Tainted Treasure Hunter Fiend, which is a quick play spell card that says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is to add 1 Diabell Star monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Second part is during your main phase, you get to banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 of your Tainted Treasure spell / trap that is banished or in your graveyard, except for Tainted Treasure Hunter Fiend, and place it on the bottom of the deck, and then draw a card. So not too bad, just being able to search out is just like a normal card. Then you get a bonus effect to cycle. Next up though, we have the Tainted Treasured Doom Lucelia, which is a quick play spell card that says you can activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. The first part says target 1 level 7 or higher spellcaster you control, apply these effects in sequence. So the first part says that face-up monster is unaffected by other monsters' effects this turn, but send it to the graveyard during the standby phase of the next turn. The next effect is all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to that monster's attack. Okay, then if any of those monsters' attack have been reduced by 0 as a result, destroy. Oh, this is actually kind of like what was that Venom Swamp? This is like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! But considering it just reduces everything, that has some potential to just like wipe the board, right? So I think that has some cool play. Next up, though, we have the Tainted Treasure Betrayal, or Tainted Treasure of Betrayal, Sylvia. This is a normal trap card that says you can only use 1 of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. The first part says send 1 Diabell Star monster from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, then target 1 face up card on the field and negate its effects. Second part is when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your Diabell star monster effect or tainted treasure spell / trap or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate that opponent's effects. Now, unfortunately, it does not negate and destroy, which is kind of like what you need in most Yu-Gi-Oh decks, but this archetype is kind of interesting in the sense where you're able to have the card come out, and then remember that card is going to basically, you're going to dump one card and it's just going to reoccur, and then you can stop them from stopping you. And that's kind of the point of, I guess, the Tainted Treasure. Maybe they were supposed to be combined with Snake Eyes, I don't know, it was listed as one of the cards. Next up though, we have another card coming out in a GOV, which is the Baphomet the Phantom Beast Demon King / Baphomet the Phantom Beast Dark Ruler. So here's the artwork on this bad boy over here. He looks freaking beastly. 2,400 attack, 600 defense points, and it's going to be a level 6 Wind Fiend fusion effect monster. So its materials are 2 monsters with different types, Beast, Fiend, Illusion. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part of the card's effect is that this card's name becomes Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while on the field or in the graveyard, but is still treated as a Phantom Beast card. Second part is, if this card is fusion summoned, you get to send 1 Beast, Fiend, or Illusion monster from your deck to the graveyard. The third part of the effect is, during your opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Beast, Fiend, or Illusion monsters except for Baphomet, the Phantom Beast Dark Ruler, and special summon it. I haven't seen this archetype see some play. I know it got, like, once it got its first support, a lot of people were playing it for the first, like, day or two, and then it just kind of just vanished from the site, but it wasn't that bad of a deck, like, legitimately not too bad. But let me know, guys, what you think of any of the new cards or archetypes below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe from the bell so you don't miss out when we cover even more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a GOV. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.